The city of Ralston, Vermont is so politically liberal it makes Burlington look like New Hampshire. In the weeks before town meeting day, activists canvassed the neighborhood, conducting a secret poll by lawn sign. Some call them passive progressives. The rescue dog is the most popular breed. Here's the legendary Phoebe rescue dog and therapy dog, popular subbreed. At the height of her powers, Phoebe was said to be able to cure everything from agoraphobia to schizophrenia. Ralston, of course, is a fictional place. As a fiction writer, I've created lots of fictional settings before. It's a fantasy world for my own amusement, but this is the first fictional setting that I've created for multiple fictions, 3 novel-length manuscripts and about a half a dozen short stories so far. It's also the first fictional setting that I've actually tried to build, not actually, but let's say virtually tried to build using various digital media tools and programs. Funny though, the more new media I bring to Ralston, the more it seems like I'm up to an ancient storytelling practice, which is world building. The folklorist John Niles suggests that storytelling may have been the most profound development in human consciousness. Storytelling, right up there with language. Storytelling allows humans to conceive of events, times, and places beyond their present circumstances for the first time. So recalled and projected times and places, settings, in other words. Now, place-based storytelling is nothing new. Faulkner had his Yoknapatawpha County, Tolkien, Middle-earth, Garrison Keillor, his Lake Wobegon. But it seems to me that when we talk about storytelling in a conventional context, we tend to focus on plot, right? The sequence of events. We get a different, though not entirely new conception of storytelling with the work of media scholar Henry Jenkins and the concept of transmedia storytelling. Now, transmedia storytelling, roughly considered, is creating a networked story world by putting pieces of the narrative on multiple media platforms. I started to gravitate toward this conception of storytelling in 2006 when, with Amanda Crispell, I co-designed an undergraduate course on interactive storytelling for video game designers. And my job was to marry some basic storytelling strategies with the technical and design elements of video games. Around this time, I also attended an editorial meeting at 7 Days with, among others, Agent of Progress, Kathy Resmer. And Kathy was urging us writers to take digital cameras out on assignment and gather footage to use in some complementary fashion with the web editions of our stories. For example, she had recently created a simple yet moving digital slideshow of the bathtub Virgin Marys of Vermont, scored to Ave Maria. So like Kathy, I was becoming more open to what digital media could mean to storytelling. I wasn't quite ready to drink the new media Kool-Aid, but I was, I guess, interested in taking a sip. And some of the forms I found out there were really intriguing, and not all of them all that sophisticated or complex, certainly not at the level of video game narratives. What you're looking at here is a blog composed entirely of mugshots and rap sheets rescued from a dumpster outside a police station in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. My own experiments were kind of rough in their execution, though I stand by their conceptual aspirations. Mother's Day began as a short story published in 7 days. I adapted it into a short film shot on pre-smartphone era flip phone, and I'm developing it into an interactive story video game, which I will release on Mother's Day in 2015. I wrote a story in tweets, 10 tweets for 7 days, and then I tweeted it through Twitter. You can find a lot of this stuff out on the internet now, for better or worse. I discovered that my most recent young adult novel, The Outside Groove, would be released on ebook. And so, taking a page from Jenkins, I surrounded that narrative with some digital artifacts. I recorded an audio essay, and with filmmaker Adam Walker and actor Cale Barkman, we created a video book trailer. And that book trailer has a standalone musical score composed by my friend, the Reverend Screaming Fingers, available as an iTunes download. I also created an interactive map of the United States. The Outside Groove's main character races cars, and so I've been inviting the auto racing community across the country to send in videos to upload to my interactive map. For me these days, though, all the roads are leading back to Ralston. I've long known that a blank page or a blank screen can be kind of a scary thing. So I've delighted in discovering that a blank map can be inspirational. And it's been a lot of fun for me to see what kinds of stories and characters would emerge from this new place. For example, on April 8th, during the public comments segment of the Ralston City Council meeting, a woman used her 3 minutes of public comment to recite from memory the opening stanzas of T.S. Eliot's poem, The Wasteland. She would come back for 8 successive city council meetings until she'd recited the whole poem. No one ever heard from her again. In 1840, Martin Thibodeau had a falling out with his brother Marcel over the future of their logging enterprise, and he dug a canal separating a 2-mile square landmass from the main land. Now, Burlingtonians today will tell you that Ralston's canal makes it an island only cosmetically, but to Ralston citizens, island life is cultural. Maybe you would like to be a Ralston citizen. I can extend that invitation to you in the coming year. But Ralston's more than a vanity project. I'm going to use it in a course that I teach on community rhetoric at Champlain College. My students will have to work out civic issues in this hypothetical virtual space. So for me these days, storytelling is more about building, world building. Yeah, I'd like your attention. And I'd like you to think that the events in my stories are interesting and compelling. But I guess what I want just as much is your company in a fictional time and place. Let's call it a world of our shared imagination. Thank you.